I was born into architecture. My father was actually a South African architect named Donald Turgell, who did extraordinary work in South Africa. He was actually quite famous, did a lot of residential stuff earlier in his career, and then ended up kind of specializing in churches. And so I grew up in a very unusual architectural house. So I've always had a strong sense and love of architecture. It was Jim DeLong himself who brought us here. So he was a neighbor. He actually lived on the hill, long time Mount Washington resident. I recognized it as a very Wrightian house. And of course, it is. It's a house designed in a style called Usonian, which was a very Wrightian thing, if I'm not mistaken. And this is like an absolutely impeccable example of that style of architecture. As I walked in, I nearly fainted. I was so overwhelmed by the beauty of the place, but also about something very familiar. It felt very much spatially like the place I'd grown up in. Framed, large glass sliding door, creating this indoor-outdoor continuum that was just like, was a rare and unusual thing. I fell in love, and so did Nick. This house is so full of little surprises and little, like, delightful sort of brilliance. It's a sort of miracle of compactness. I find that what he was able to do here was to, I mean, it's a small house, but this small 1,100-foot house has more storage in it, for example, more storage space in it than our 3,500-square-foot house next door. Just living on the top of a hill like this with the views and the serenity and the aesthetic that we're surrounded with can only enormously improve, you know, the quality of any life. And I am so very lucky to have it that I can't imagine a better home to have.